Well, hello there and welcome to our QP update and indeed to our little Advent studio here in the Point building. Talking of Advent, that is the season in the church calendar in which we now find ourselves. And Advent is, of course, all about waiting. I don't know about you, but it seems that year by year we get so busy planning and organising for Christmas that we lose the significance of this season of Advent. And Advent is important because it reminds us that we are people in waiting, just as Israel stuck with the hope through centuries of ups and downs that Messiah would come. So we Christians are to wait in hope for the advent of King Jesus in the fullness of his glory. Now, this Sunday we are diving into Isaiah chapter 11. We'd love for you to have a good look at that ahead of time. But it is a remarkable chapter. It's really quite amazing. It's a prophecy which speaks about a shoot that will spring out of the dead stump of Jesse's ancestral tree. Jesse, of course, being the father of King David. And so this is a royal promise of a king who will come to right wrong, to establish justice, and to usher in a new world of peace and harmony. It's a wonderful promise. And we, of course, believe that this king has indeed come, and his name is Jesus. But it took 700 years or so for him to come following this prophecy. Now that, in my book, is a lot of waiting. And I don't like waiting. 2020 has been a year of frustration and of waiting for me. I want to get back to some form of normality. I want to hug my children and my parents, and I want to sing loudly with everyone in church. This week we've had the great news that vaccines are now being deployed, which we can all be so grateful for. It does appear that rescue is over the hill. But before we rush off into some new normal, let's stick with Advent and with the waiting. Because it's important that we hear what God is saying in each season of life. I'm certainly learning in this time that I need to live in the season that I find myself in, not the season that I would like to be in. I'm learning that I need to do the best I can with the conditions that I find myself in, not bemoan the conditions and wish I was living in a different season. I need to find the work of God in this time and not in a different time. And so it's really important to discern the season that we find ourselves in. It's crucial to how we grow and how we respond to our circumstances. Of course, we can find ourselves in times in a fruitful season where everything just blooms and blossoms and it's a white-knuckle ride. Or we can find ourselves in tough seasons where the going is rough and difficult. Or we find ourselves in seasons of hiddenness and quietness where God does the groundwork on the foundation of our souls. We find ourselves in seasons of repositioning or transition. Or as the Bible would say, we find ourselves in times to sow and times to reap. And it is really helpful to determine what sort of season of life we are in so that we can accommodate ourselves to that season and do what needs to be done in that particular time. However, there's also always a sense that Christians are in Advent always. We're always waiting the coming King. And until he comes, we wait. Perhaps we wait like the saints in glory, saying, "How long, O Lord, how long?" But as we wait, we do look forward in hope. And as we look forward in hope, we live our lives in the light of what is coming. We begin to embody and live out the values of the coming kingdom. We allow our lives, our voices and our actions to signpost Christ who is coming. And as we do that, we need to learn to live in waiting. Psalm 130, verses 5 through to 7, catch this so well. Listen to these words. I wait for the Lord. My soul does wait. And in his word I put my hope. My soul waits for the Lord, more than watchmen wait for the morning, more than watchmen wait for the morning. So in this season of Advent, as we prepare for the King this Christmas and remember his first coming, let's take time to wait, to learn to find God in the season that we are in, and not in the season that we might wish to be in. Let's wait on the Lord in these days, more than watchmen wait for the morning. And as we wait, let's use this time. There are a number of resources and opportunities that we are communicating to you. Various projects that as a church we are involved in, so look at that up on social media, and various devotions and opportunities for worship through December. Again, that's available through our mailings and through our social media. I just encourage you to use those opportunities to refresh your soul as we wait on the Lord in these days.